Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 4 of Trade Talks. My name is Ryan, and I'm joined by Brian. And today, we'll be rolling through some of our favorite trade targets. We'll provide some trade grades on some real trades, and we'll highlight some other players of interest in week 4 of your fantasy hockey season. Here we go. All right. It's the Brian and Ryan show tonight. Welcome in. Brian Squared. I don't know. We gotta find a cool duo name, Brian. How you doing tonight? Oh, he's got some technical difficulties, I think. Hello?
I'm hearing you speak, and then I feel it.
I have a question. Do you have the YouTube link open somewhere on your computer? All right. Well, I'll start us off here as Brian figures out his sound. We got Blake, LFG boys, Tier 4 Monty. Hope you're watching. All right. So this is week 4 of Trade Talks. Welcome on in. Apologies for the delay and a bit of technical difficulties here, but we will be missing Evan tonight. Evan, he does some crazy Halloween haunted house decorations, so I believe he's scaring a bunch of children in a good way, and we'll be missing him tonight, but it's the Brian and Ryan show, so we'll get into some news.
I figured it out.
Brian, you figured it out? All good? What was it?
Yeah, I had the live stream open up on YouTube too, so I was hearing you speak, and then I'd hear you speak again, and I was like, "What on earth is going on?"
Yep.
So I figured it out.
I totally did that last week.
Unbelievable.
All right. Welcome in. So yeah, I was just saying we'll get into some news, and then we'll provide a couple trade targets that we're taking a look at and trying to get from other people's teams. And then we have 7 submitted trades to get through and provide our trade grades and have some great conversations about. And then we'll get through a new segment that we're going to do tonight. Feel free to add some comments, and we'll be getting on those today. Blake did that the other day when he guested on a pod, so you're not alone, Brian. I did it last week. We're good. All right, let's get into some newsies. And we got Evan, just a nice little AI generated picture of Evan there, just to keep us company for some news.
Yeah.
But yes, so we have some news. Val Nichushkin is back. He is back into fantasy relevance. Everyone who held on to them, congratulations, because he is back on Power Play 1. He's still on the second line, but he's getting tons more ice time in the last few games, up above 20 minutes, where the first few games he was getting the 14-minute treatment, and I was worried as a Val Nichushkin owner, but he is back. So we are happy about that. We'll see if that lasts, and if it does last all season, like we're looking at potential point per game Val. I think 70-point pace Val, and we'll see if he can play a full season. And then some other news: Ghost. He had an injury. He came back last night, but he's out again with I don't know if it's the same injury or a different one, but in his absence today at practice, Sean Walker was on Power Play 1, and our boy Nick Keeshan was on Power Play 2. Brian, how are you feeling about that?
Listen, the ghost is taking his name too literally here. He's ghosting all of us. Like I swear I just checked on Gosper the other day. I was like, oh, he's playing. This is great. Now he's gone. Like, quit ghosting us. Come back and play.
Yeah, getting into the Halloween spirit. He should take a stroll on Evan's haunted house.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's putting up decorations with Evan. That's what it is. He's busy with the Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you own Nikishin anywhere?
I don't. To be honest, I kind of wish I did. I really like him. Like he started the season really hot, but I just think he's fun to have on your team.
Yeah, I think Nikishin owners were really hoping for power play one. Like they've been prioritizing Sean Walker, even Mike Riley, but he is on power play two in practice today. And power play two does get like, I think 35% of the power play time, much more than, a few teams like Colorado or Tampa
Colorado
or stuff
comes
like
to
that.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then we got Rob Thomas and Jake Neighbors currently injured on St. Louis. Neighbors is out at least 5 weeks, I think, but Rob Thomas is day to day. That provides a bit more ice time for a potential Braden Shen stream. He's getting a bit more ice time. But yeah, nothing really exciting there from that news. Hopefully Rob Thomas is back soon. And then we had some injured goalies return. Jacob Markstrom returned, and he let in 8 goals against the Colorado Avalanche. So
Oof.
that was a not great to have in your fantasy lineups. His first game back, but he should be the starter for New Jersey. And I think 8 goals against his first game back. He might be a good trade target. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely be a good trade target. I don't think it get much worse than that. But I gotta say, one thing is, I think my favorite pastime is going and reading individual players like chats on like Yahoo, whatever it is. It is so funny. People in the Markstrom chat are like, "Why is he still in net? What are you doing? Pull him!" They're acting like coaches in there. It's comical. If you need a laugh, everyone go take a look at the player chats. They're awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder if there's like any positive in any player chat, or even if you click on like Jack Eichel right now, if it's like, like why didn't he get 3 goals? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, he puts up 2 goals. You still see comments that are like, "You bum! Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah, and then Mackenzie Blackwood also returns. He backed up Scott Wedgwood in the same game there, and he is probably going to get a start in Colorado's next game. So keep an eye on that. He could be a true starter. He could be like a 1A, and definitely worth rostering on one of the best teams of the league. I will just get to some comments before some more news. Nolan McLeod, he's getting Boldy and Vassy for his Jarvis and Blackwood. So he's trading away Blackwood right before he came back, and trading away Jarvis, and he's getting Vassy and Matt Boldy. Yeah, that's a home run for me. Yeah, I'd want to know more about this league and your opponent who you're trading to, because I think that's an absolute steal.
Yeah, you knock him on the head before that, like definitely. I want Boldy shoots the lights out, and Vassy is only. I'd imagine is only going to get better. Tampa's only going to get better from here. Like I don't see them being bottom feeders the whole year.
Yeah, like maybe like this is like the owner of Vasilevsky was super frustrated with Vasilevsky, and for that reason he's giving away Boldy. But to me, like Boldy and Vassy were heavily drafted ahead of Jarvis and Blackwood, and not much has changed in my mind here, other than Jarvis, getting a little bit higher than he was drafted, but he was drafted way too low.
Yeah.
All right, and then another comment here. He's Christoph. He's trading Panarin away for Reinhart, straight up 1-for-1. He feels that New York Rangers this year is going to be a bottom feeder team. Interesting. So he's not buying any buy lows for the Rangers here. He's buying Reinhart, which is a buy low candidate, which is interesting. And I think we're going to talk about that guy later. So Christoph, listen in for later what we think about Reinhart. Panarin, I'd be holding on to the Rangers. I still have a little bit of high hopes. I don't think they'll be a bottom feeder. What do you think about the Rangers, Brian?
Yeah, they're not going to be a bottom feeder, and I know we'll probably chat about Panarin and Reinhart a little bit later. But I did notice looking into Panarin, he has, he had 1 4-point game and then a whole lot of donuts in the other games, and that's not going to stay the same either. So once New York figures out their offense, he's going to be the focal point of that, to be honest. So yeah, I think I would try to hold on to the Rangers as best I could, or as best you can for now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so moving on, we can get into a couple more newsies. Svechnikov is back to power play 1 and scores. For those of you that didn't see that goal, it was an absolute beamer. He absolutely ripped that puck. It looked nice. It looked like he belonged in that power play. So who knows? Maybe he'll stay there. Maybe he'll move up the lineup, but that remains to be seen. But he did score on power play 1. Pittsburgh's second line is currently on fire. Not to mention everyone in Pittsburgh, it seems, is on fire. They keep scoring. I don't understand it. Mantha is actually moved up to power play 1. And what I was telling Ryan before this is, I was up against someone who picked up Mantha, and I was like, no problem. Like I got better players playing, and of course he scores back-to-back games. Like it's hurting me a little bit, but yeah, he's a talented player. Now he gets a look on power play 1, so this could be something moving forward. Ridley Gregg is on power play 1 in Ottawa, and just like Fetch, he also got a power play point. So if it's clicking there, he might hold on to that spot a little bit longer. We know Ottawa's dealing with a handful of injuries. Ryan, what do you think? You think Ridley Gregg's going to stay on the top power play?
I mean, for now, with Brady Tkachuk out, like it seems to work, and he did pick up a power play point, and they went, they're keeping him on there for now. So he's a great streaming option, that's for sure. Yeah. I wouldn't say he's anything of a hold. You need to make sure Ottawa has a good schedule, and you're crossing the streams well in Lake. What was it, Lake Streamland? Did you hear Blake's story lately?
Yeah, I did. That's actually part of my nighttime routine. I just put on a nice Blake story, and I close my eyes, have the best dreams ever, So shout out to Blake there. Yeah, you know what? I don't understand why, the Pinto Bean won't be getting more looks at that top line or top power play. He's been putting up a lot of points too. So interesting to have Ridley Gregg there, but if it's working, it's working. Moving on here, the doom and gloom of Vancouver kind of continues with these injuries. Quinn Hughes and Garland are day to day. Fortunate for those who may have picked up Hronik last week. Vancouver played 4 times last week, I believe, and now he's PP1. So he's a top power play quarterback. He's on that top unit. He's been pretty decent as of late. If you don't already have him as a streamer, I think that would be a great option if you're short on defense, because he will be getting that top line and be increased to his minutes, I'd imagine, moving forward. And then lastly, this one actually kind of hurts me, but Granlund is out 2 to 3 weeks. Ryan, at the beginning of the week, I was planned out all my ads for the week. I'm like, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I noticed I have some shortcomings on Friday and Sunday, and there's a couple guys I want to pick up. So I was, going like, rub my hands together. I'm like, I'm so excited here. I'm going to pick up Granlund. He's going to miss Tuesday's game, but he's going to play Friday. So I'll put him my IR, pick someone else up, kill 2 birds, 1 stone. Find out that he is now missing 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, well, it was a shot, but I missed the mark there. So he's out now 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's a real bummer. He was finding some good chemistry with Troy Terry, but this is a nice opportunity for like every other Anaheim player just to get a bit more ice time, and maybe their power play 1 to get like true power play 1 treatment. So like Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish, Cutter Gauthier, if you haven't heard, all these guys are amazingly talented, and they're actually getting great ice time under Joel Quenneville, which I was happily surprised to see with all these players. So, poor Granlund, but great opportunity for all these other guys. If they're still unowned, take a look in your league.
Absolutely.
All right, a bit more news here.
Yeah. So, all right, I can take this one. So, again, a couple of more news we need to address. We got to talk through a couple contract extensions. Thomas Harley just signed an extension, 8 by $10.59 million. So he's locked up for 8 years here. And same with Logan Cooley, 8 by 10. I was listening to the Real Kipper and Bourne when I was working out earlier today, and they were talking about these contract extensions too. So these guys are putting the league on notice. They're Logan Cooley especially is having a great start to the year. I think that's great for Utah to lock him up. It might be a little bit harder for Utah, for Utah themselves to lock up great talented players in a smaller market, but this is huge for them. We know how talented he is. We talked about him last week. If he is still available for a trade, someone wants to get rid of him, they jump all over that. Moving on, we got the Minnesota power play unit. So a lot of shake and bake in here. Spurgeon is now power play 1 quarterback, and Bouillon has been relegated down to power play 2. He's also being joined by Faber there. So I'd imagine throughout the year, you're going to see this a couple times. A little shake and bake in Minnesota. They got to shake up the scoring, stir it up a little bit here. Spurgeon, we know, isn't the greatest power play 1 quarterback, but not a bad option to kind of change that up there.
Minnesota.
I was just going to ask if you had any takes.
Minnesota, like they came out the gate crushing the
yeah.
power play. I believe they were, like at a 50% or 60% power play rate the first like 3 or 4 games, and then they've come back down to earth, struggling to capitalize on their power play chances. So they needed to shake things up. I guess they needed to shake things up. I don't know if I would have shake things up. Zeev Buim looks pretty good on that top power play, and I think he'll make his way back there. So I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't drop Zeev Buim yet. But if this lasts a while, I might. But that power play too has had some success. I believe 3 power play goals from the second power play unit, which could mean possibly a dreaded split power play to come in the next few weeks. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I hope Kirill Kaprizov gets the Ovechkin treatment and is on both units. But yeah, just to that point, I think Buium's going to be back at the power play 1 at some point. They're just shaking things up a bit because they were beyond nuclear to start the year and have dropped off. Obviously, you got to come back down to earth at some point. Moving on here, we got Brad Marchand is missed Tuesday's game, but he is expected back Saturday. I believe he was attending a funeral of a family member, so not a long-term out. If you did have the chance to put him on your IR, pick up a streamer. That's a great use of maximizing that schedule. As Blake and Nate say, you got to attack that schedule anyways, so may as well fill it in an IR spot, IR plus spot if you have them. But he is expected to be back come Saturday. Zach Hyman in other news, what's crazy is November is fast approaching, and Zach Hyman's expected timeline was the beginning of November. So the fact that it's right around the corner actually took me by surprise. But Zach Hyman was supposed to start beginning of November. We just found out today he's not expected to play this upcoming weekend, which would be the beginning of November there. But he's close. So he is still labeled as week to week. I'd imagine we might be able to see him get back in maybe 2 weeks' time. That would be my guess. Ryan, do you have an earlier projection on Zach Hyman's return? Where's your crystal ball?
I'm not. I don't make predictions on injury returns. I have no insider info there. But you know what? Like they said, maybe a week. But it was a maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. That's the thing in the NHL, especially the injury updates are very not much detail on injuries, to say the least. So that's why you come to the Apple Ginos. We give you the best injury updates we possibly can here. Moving on to the last one on this list here, we got Calgary's 31st ranked power play. We know it has not been good. We did see Zane Parekh get a chance on that top power play, and towards the end of last game, I believe it was Rasmus Andersson was up on that power play as the quarterback there. So I'd imagine they're going to keep shaking things up until they can start clicking to some degree, because it's very, very difficult for Calgary to put the puck in the net, and they need to find a way to open up some scoring. So a good place to start is on the power play when they have that man advantage. So I would expect some changes here. Rasmus Andersson, if you own him, his stock might have gone up just a little bit. Obviously, he's all-around stud. I believe Weegar and Zane Parekh are both going to get a crack back up on that top power play. That's really where we want to kind of take this update here. Ryan, if you were a betting man, who would you say is the Calgary power play quarterback by the end of the year?
Oh, I gotta say Zane Parekh for sure. I think he's got much more talent there, and things just looked better. The eye test looked a lot better with him over Mackenzie Weegar, and like that's concerning for Weegar owners. I think I have Weegar in 1 or 2 spots, and this was always a possibility. But even like the last couple games, Rasmus Andersson. They're taking Zane Parekh off and then they're putting Andersson on there instead of Weegar back there. That's concerning for Weegar. He does have the high floor with all the peripherals, but his blocks and shots have been lower this year to start the season. So that's definitely concerning for Weegar, and it's not looking good for him. That's for sure. Yeah. So we have a comment here. Armin, welcome back. He says, who would you trade to get Weegar? And on that note, I don't know if I would trade for Weegar. I think I'm really concerned. I do think his blocks and shots should return. I think we're seeing a little bit of variance here where they're excessively low, but I just don't think the upside of Power Play 1 is there all season anymore. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I don't want him, to be honest. If I need blocks and hits, there's others on the waiver wire. I just don't think the points upside is there for Uyghur. So to be honest, I'd be looking to trade him right now. Like, I think Zane Prek being on Power Play 1, as we kind of already talked about, we knew was bound to happen, but did we think it was going to happen in the at the end of the first month of hockey? Like, no. So yeah, I don't know if I want Uyghur on my team.
Yeah. And another question here from Lucio Mancuso. Are you dropping Ullmark for any of the following? Ullmark has had a terrible start to the season. So on the waiver wire, it looks like there's Jacob Dobes, Freddie Anderson, Alex Lyon, John Gibson, Schmid, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Vladar, and it's a 10-man league. Head-to-head points, it looks like wins are 4, losses are -2, so you actually lose losses. Goals against -2, 0.6 for a save. So you only need you lose points per loss, but you only need like less than an 800 save percentage for positive points in terms of the goals against to saves. Interesting. I would probably hold on to Ullmark at the moment. You know, he's the one that's going to get the most starts out of everyone here. I maybe would drop him for Anderson, but that's the only one, I think. Brian, what about you?
You're not into Dobis? Dobish?
I
almost called him Dobby. You're not into Dobby?
I think he's had some great starts, but you know, he's not the starter. He's not a true starter, and he's not a 1A, which Ullmark is either a 1A or a true starter. And in points leagues, that's what I want.
Yeah, I don't think Ullmark's going to be this bad all year. I think that's a pretty safe bet. As we already kind of talked about, Ottawa's pretty banged up. I'm assuming once they get healthy, their team in front of Ullmark will be a little bit better. But yeah, he's got to stop a beach ball, and I think he can do that moving forward. And I think, Ryan, I would agree with you. If anyone, I would drop for Freddie Anderson, just he's on a better better team environment in front of him. But I would prefer to keep Ullmark. I think it's close, though. I think it's close for me.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into our trade targets. These are players that we are looking at some other teams, and we're like, oh, okay, let's touch base with this owner. Maybe we can float some trades to get this guy. And this is my first trade target. We have Nikita Kucherov. Now, this will be a hard trade target than, you know, an average buy low, but I do think Kucherov is at a buy low point. He only has 10 points in 8 games played. When I was putting this together before his game last night, he only had 8 points in 7 games played, but he did pick up 2 points, including an empty net goal last night. But yeah, things are looking good still at even strength. His underlying numbers are great. If you look at his shots on goal per 60, those are still great. But interestingly, his shot attempts per 60 has risen at even strength to really like elite levels. Even you thought he was elite before. He's shooting 26 times per 60, and he's just missing the net a lot and shooting into blocks a lot. So he's only hitting the net on 30% of his shot attempts, and he is usually in the 40 to 50% range. And I do think that should climb up. So if he does keep his shot attempt rate up there, his shot on goal rate can go near the tops of the leagues. So yeah, even strength is still great for Kucherov. He does only have 3 power play points. He has led the league in power play points last year, but he only has 3 this year. And Tampa has, as a whole, ranked 29th in their power play goals. So it just hasn't worked for them so far. I think Tampa is going to turn it around. They still have all of the elite guys: Braden Point, Jake Gensel, Victor Hedman, Kucherov, and they're still trying out who that 5th member might be on that top power play unit. Bjorkstrand has been there. They're doing everything they can to keep Brandon Hagel off of that top power play. Yeah. And they actually had Cirelli there a few times, but I think they will figure it out. And Tampa does do like a true top power play unit with like 80 to 90% of the power play time going to them. So yeah, for Kucherov here, I would still rank him as the like 6th, maybe the 7th best skater. For me, I would have McKinnon, McDavid, Makar, Draisaitl still, Kaprizov, and probably Eichel in that top 6, and I would probably have Kucherov at 6 or 7. So in anyone who drafted Kucherov, you draft them at like the 3 to 5 range. So it is going to be tough to get him. You're going to have to give up an asset, but I do think you can get him as like a top 10 to 15 asset rather than the top 6th or 7th asset that I think his true value lies. So I think, anyone I didn't name there, I would give up in a one for one. I think people might not like this, but I would give up Jack Hughes straight up for Nikita Kucherov. I still think Kucherov will outperform Hughes. And Jack Hughes, he has a history of not playing 82 games, but you can ignore that. Kucherov does have a history as well, but Jack Hughes just flies into the boards all the time.
Yeah, and he won't change his stance.
Yeah, he plays loosey-goosey hockey. So yeah, I think if you can trade for him and like agree with his owner that he is a top 10 to 15 asset rather than a top 5 asset, and you can make a trade like that, I would do so. And that's what I'm looking at in my leagues. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I got Cooch in a couple spots, and I was so excited, to finally have him on my roster. And I'm looking at his output, and I'm thinking to myself, this is not what I signed up for, Cooch. What's going on? So yeah, I think he's a great asset to have. He missed a game or 2 games maybe with the injury, so who knows what that really was. But yeah, Tampa we've talked about. Tampa's going to turn around, and he's going to be at the helm of that offense. We know the talent of the player. He will be putting up a lot of power play points. Like you mentioned already, he has 3. Like that's it. That's crazy. And Tampa's power play ranked 29th. Like that won't last. I would imagine, honestly, they would probably still finish top 10 by the end of the year. And all of that is going to run through Kucherov. So yeah, I'm looking to give up Kucherov. I would be more than happy to part ways with any players that I find are moving super hot right now that I don't see, forecasted for the whole year. But I need Kucherov in my team.
Interesting. So as a Kucherov owner, if I offered you Jack Hughes, would you say no?
I would say no.
Okay. What if I offered you Jack Eichel?
I would say yes to that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, like that's what I was thinking through this, and I was okay. Like, where would I have Kucherov ranked right now? And I think Jack Eichel has, shot himself up there in the top 5 or the top 6. Yeah,
he's been so good. But we're not here to talk about Eichel. We're here to talk about Kucherov, and he will be so good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving along to your trade target.
Yeah, we're going to keep things running with a couple of top round picks here. Reinhart, for most of you, would have been drafted in the 2nd round. And he has not been off to the greatest of starts. We know Florida right off the gate, or right out the gate, right off the hop, were hit really badly with the injury bug. And there could be a lot of fearful owners out there that are holding Reinhart thinking, okay, maybe he put up a lot of his production because of Barkov. Florida, they've lost a couple games. They're not looking so great. And I'd be jumping all over this just because Sam Reinhart, he offers you a lot, even peripherally speaking, and he can put up some points. He doesn't need Barkov. It helps, but he doesn't need Barkov. Looking over his last couple games, he's scored 3 goals. It is like a goal in each of the past 3 games, 17 shots on goal the past 3 games. So he's firing the puck. And on top of that, he's on the ice a lot. Like over his last 5 games, he's averaging almost 23 minutes of ice time. And that includes even strength, penalty kill, power play. Like he's all over the ice. So for that reason, I'm still pretty excited about Reinhart. And I think this could be a good opportunity to jump on the fear factor of other managers who have Reinhart in the spot and haven't seen the production that they would think they'd get out of him to start. Even looking into a couple of his micro stats, like his Corsi 4, his tilt in the ice when he's out there, That's not really changed. It's been a little bit better over the past couple of games. And then scoring chances are also really up there. So scoring chance, expected goals, like he's expected to score according to microstats. And we expect that to continue here moving forward. This might be an absolute reach, but hey, Nick Schmaltz has been on a heater of all heaters. And I know we kind of talked about this before, but Nick Schmaltz, I don't know if his production's going to fully go away. He's been having a pretty good year. And I would be willing to trade away Nick Schmaltz for Sam Reinhart. Could someone be willing to do that? Maybe, maybe not. But you could really phrase it the fact that, hey, Sam Reinhart's on a team without Barkov. He's not playing that great start. Florida's not that good. You can try out all those things and see what you get in conversation.
Yeah, interesting. And yeah, just looking at I wouldn't call them microstats. I would save that for the all three zone stuff, but I would call them the underlying stats. That's for sure.
Underlying metrics is what I wanted to use, and that slipped my mind. So thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, just looking at his even strength on ice numbers, the expected goals per 60 is at 3.56. That's more than last year, but the actual goals for is at 1.4. So they're scoring way fewer goals than expected. They're still generating tons of chances, and that's a great sign of better things to come for Reinhart on the ice. And he's always involved. His IPP is always up in the 70s. So, and it still is. So I think he's gonna do a lot better there. He has no even strength assists so far. It looks like he's the only one scoring.
That's crazy. That's crazy to even think of.
Yeah. But yeah, Nick Schmaltz, I don't know if anyone will take Nick Schmaltz for Sam Reinhart. But again,
depends what league you're in.
It definitely depends what league you're in. Yeah, I think an interesting conversation could be like Matt Boldy, where that would be like
that would be a serious thought. Yeah, I could see that one. What I want to do is try to make sure I maximize the best players here through and through. So I think I'd start with Schmaltz and then knock it down to the next one. You always want to start, with getting the best deal here, and then you can kind of work your way down.
I think the best way that I like to approach trades is I like other people to approach me for a player, at least a player of interest. And then I'm like, okay, I know exactly who they're interested in. And then I usually ask, like, do you like anyone else on my team if I were to construct something else? And then from there, boom, if I see Sam Reinhart on their team, I'm going after him. That's how I like to do it.
I like it.
Yeah. All righty. We are going into some trade grades, but first, maybe a couple more questions here. Christoph is just sharing some misery. He has Mark Stone, Quinn Hughes, and Roman Yossi on one of his teams. Total disaster. Yeah, that is a bummer. I feel I got one team that's all on the IR plus. Feel you there. Alex Mass says, should I get Celebrini and Jackson Lacombe for Dylan Larkin? So giving away Larkin, getting Celebrini and Lacombe? Yes, 100%. That's a slam dunk for me.
Yeah, Larkin has been unreal to start the season, and he's not that guy. And you're gonna get Celebrini, who's just emerging, and Lacombe, who's going to emerge here. I would do that all day.
Yeah. And then Armin saying Penguins less likely to trade assets if playoff team, right? I mean, yeah, like if they're a playoff team, they're not gonna be total sellers, that's for sure. But the question is, by March, are they gonna be a playoff team? And I don't think so. I think they're in a nice hot streak, ride it while it lasts, but I don't think it's gonna last. And I think they will be sellers by the deadline. Brian, do you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. Like if everyone, the consensus was that the Penguins might finish last in their division, and they're off to like the hottest start ever. I don't think that's gonna last.
Yeah. And then Three Little Frenchies says, I offered someone Forsberg, Zib, and Johnston for his Keller, JT Miller, and Ehlers. Interesting. And he rejected it. It's a points league with power play points, hits, blocks, shots. Feeling like my side was better and glad he rejected it. Yeah, I mean, if you're ever glad someone rejected it, then yeah, good thing you didn't accept it. But so Forsberg, it's Zibanejad, and Johnston for Keller, JT Miller and Ehlers. Wow, this is like all three of these guys are all on both sides are relevant. They're all in the top 70 range. Interesting. I think Brian, whose side would you prefer? Forsberg, Zibanejad, and Johnston, or Keller, JT Miller, and Ehlers?
Yeah, see, like right off the bat, I felt like, oh, definitely I'd prefer Forsberg, Zib, Johnson. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, no, Ehlers is going to get going. JT Miller throws the body. Keller's going to put up a lot of points. Like you get points here for hits and blocks. Like, I think I would prefer Keller, Miller, Ehlers.
Yeah, I'm leaning the same way. The more I'm looking at it now, the more I'm like, yeah, like he rejected it for good reason. You would have won this trade, I think. Don't be mad he rejected it. Keller, yeah, JT Miller and Clayton Keller are just great top 30 assets, and Ehlers will turn it around on that top line, top power play in Carolina. Yeah, I think it would have been a good trade if he accepted it. All right, let's get into some trade grades. So if you do not know, if you're not in the Discord, the Apples and Ginos Discord, get in there and you can post your finished trades, submitted trades, or just some trade offers in the content team mailbag. And we will show them in this trade grade segment, and we'll be going over and given a trade grade. We do need all of the information of the league settings, how many managers, all of the categories and or points set up. Is it a keeper league? What are the keeper rules? We would like all of that before providing a grade. But let's get into the first one here. We have a categories league with goals, assists, power play points, shots on goal, hits, blocks, penalty minutes, and game-winning goals. So it's a true Bangers Cats league with penalty minutes and then game-winning goals, an extra little bonus that is a little unpredictable, but just a great bonus for goal scorers. So we are giving away Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews, he only has 8 points so far, 4 goals, 4 assists, and we are receiving Jake Gensel and Mike Matheson. So giving away one of the best goal scorers in the league. He also provides great block numbers. His block numbers have been actually insane to start the season. Like he was averaging 3 blocks a game.
Yeah, is he still leading all forwards in blocks?
Oh, he must be. I haven't looked in a bit, but he has only had 2 games with 1 block, and then all the other games it's 2 or 3. It's wild from a forward. So he's going to do great for your block category. That might come back down to earth. I don't think he's going to average 2 blocks a game, but yeah, a lot of defensemen don't do that. So that'll come down. But yeah, Austin Matthews doesn't really get any penalty minutes. He doesn't take a lot of penalties. So as much as he's great in blocks, he doesn't do anything in penalties, but he will get you tons of goals and probably some game winners. You're getting Jake Gensel, who is a goal scorer as well, and on that Tampa Bay team. And if Tampa Bay improves, I think Jake Gensel will improve as well. And then Mike Matheson. So for me, no, not me. We have Brian first. Brian, what do you think?
Brian's boom. No boom here. I would not make this trade. And I think to start, there's a couple things to look at. I still believe in Austin Matthews as a player. He blocks, like we just talked about, more than every single forward, and he's still an elite talent. So to give away him and get 2 lesser players off the hop, I'm not a fan of. The way I see Mike Matheson is a streamer in most leagues at that spot. So taking that away, you're looking at it as really Matthews for Gensel. And yeah, I'm not making that trade. Matthews, I still think he's definitely going to turn around and start scoring some more goals. I know Craig Berube has been really trying to make some adjustments on that lineup so we can get him going. And I think he will. There's just too much talent there not to start scoring some more goals. And the blocks, as they will come back down to earth, they are always still really good. So he's still going to block, and that's super valuable to have in a forward, considering defense are the ones who typically you rely on for blocks. And Matthews is averaging a block a game more than that. Like, that's really important to have. Not to mention, he's going to be on the ice for the possibility of game-winning goals. He's going to be getting you all these other chances as well. He plays in the penalty kill, game-winning goals he'll get. He shoots a ton. So, yeah, for me, it might even be less than a C-, like a D, but definitely not making that trade.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. No booms from Brian. I totally agree with everything you said, Brian, and even more so. You're convincing me even more so. I'm giving this a D. I think this would be a terrible trade to give up Austin Matthews. Yeah, all the points you said. I don't need to add much more. He did also include his team and his opponent's team to us for our perusal. And just looking at his opponent's team, we have like Mikko Rantanen, Gensel, Crosby, really as the top three guys, Lane Hudson in there. For me, like there's nothing on this opponent's team that he submitted that'll get me to give away Austin Matthews unless it's really like all three of those guys, Crosby, Rantanen, and Gensel, maybe just straight up for Matthews. That might be the only way. So I don't know why you would be trading away Austin Matthews right now. I wouldn't do it. He'll improve. Toronto will figure things out, and Austin Matthews is the guy to do so.
Yeah, I agree. I think even looking at that team here, like I got the list of both teams there, and like I wouldn't even at this point I wouldn't even consider trading Matthews. But if you did want to, toughen up your D a little bit, because I know his defense were I had it here: Nikishin, Wallman, Letang, Andrew Peak, and on his opponent's team he had Lane Hudson, Carlson, Hamilton, Ekholm, Trouba, Matheson. I would even try to do like Toffoli and Peak for Carlson to just pick up some of the scoring. I just think you can get a lot of the penalty minutes, the shots, hits on the waiver wire. I know these are kind of a premium in this league, but I would still think that I'd prefer to have some points and pick up the peripherals waiver wire league, if that's a word.
Yeah. If anything, like go for Trouba. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have Gudis. He has Gudis on his team.
Oh yeah, he's got Gudis.
So I don't even know. He's getting a lot of pims. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's no trade to be done. Sometimes the best move is no move.
Yeah.
All right, trade number 2. This one's a huge blockbuster submitted by Kamikaze as a strat. This is a points league where goals are 2, assists are 1, power play points 0.5, shorties 0.5, shots on goal are 0.1, hits are 0.1, blocks are 0.5, and then you get an added bonus for a hat trick with 2 extra points. We are giving away 5 players and receiving 4 players. So strap in, everybody. We are giving away Zach Werenski, Jake Wallman, Thomas Hertl, Matt Barzal, and William Eklund. And we are receiving Connor McDavid, hello, Jonathan Huberdeau, Luke Hughes, and Adam Fantilli. All right, so I believe I have the first grade here. This one's a crazy blockbuster. We're getting Connor McDavid, but it's in the C range for me. It's a C+. It's on, like, I think this is a great trade for the league and just for fantasy hockey in general. Like, it's pretty even, and I think you're overpaying for McDavid, which you have to do. If anyone's going to give up McDavid, you have to overpay. So yeah, I'm giving this a C+. I wouldn't do this trade. I would keep the Werenski side and not take Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid's side. So again, just looking at the point setup, goals are worth 2 times the assists. And as much as Connor McDavid spoke in the offseason about scoring more goals and shooting more, he's not doing that this season. He's still the setup man. Like, that's who he is on this team. And I don't see him scoring 40 goals this year. He's going to get probably 100 assists again, maybe. We'll see. But and shots on goal and hits are 0.1, blocks are 0.5. So that's a big one too. So for me, Zach Werenski and Jake Wallman here are great defenders. They're going to block a ton, and they're going to actually score some goals. And then Thomas Hertl, he's a goal scorer on Vegas. He'll be on the top power play. And Matt Barzal, he isn't necessarily a goal scorer, but William Eklund has turned into a shooter on San Jose and really in that top line with Max Celebrini. And things are just looking really good for all of these 5 players. I think this is a situation where the McDavid side might be panicking. Maybe they're 0-3 and McDavid hasn't done enough, and Luke Hughes hasn't done enough, and Adam Fantilli definitely hasn't done enough. And yeah, maybe it's like, I need an overpay, I need an overhaul, and I need to get myself a win. Don't give him the win. Don't do this trade. I like this Werenski side. So I give it a C+ for my ruling.
Yeah. I see it similarly. To be honest, like I don't want to repeat a lot that you said, but what I will say is Werenski and Wallman, like blocks are very valuable in this league setting. Wallman's going to block way more than anyone else you'll be receiving on the other side. McDavid, yeah, he is McJesus. We know that, but he's not scoring. Goals are weighted the most. And I think everyone on that you have on your team in that format has the ability to get a hat trick at some point just based off of their deployment, based off the skill around them. So I like those are a couple of like bonuses you can't really like project, but like you can assume. And for that reason, I just wouldn't feel comfortable making that trade at all. I like Luke Hughes doesn't do anything really peripherally. He's had a good start season. He's been really slow of late. McDavid is not scoring goals. Fantilli doesn't have the deployment that we want. Huberto, we know what he is, whereas Werenski, we know what he's capable of. Wallman is in a better environment at Edmonton this year. Hurdle, he is the trigger man next to Dorofeev on that power play. And we know Vegas' power play is incredible. Barzell, a lot of the offense runs through him and Schaefer, actually. But Barzell will get his points. And then Eklund has that exposure to Celebrini. So for that reason, I'm not making that trade.
Yeah. All right. And we got some comments. Ian here in the comments, he says, I don't think that's enough for McJesus. But then a minute later, he says, actually, maybe it is. And then he said, an entire core of a team for one player. Huberto, Hughes, and Fantilli are borderline rosterable. Yep, in 12-team leagues, I agree. So you're really giving up your entire core for Connor McDavid. And yeah, I just wouldn't do that. Brian, I do want to ask you, so my line is like you need a B- for me to complete the trade. That's my grading system. So for me, C+ and lower, I'm not doing the trade. B- and higher, I'm probably doing the trade. For you, what's your line? Do you want to like what are you feeling here?
Yeah, let me clarify. So a B, if I give a B, I can be swayed either way, but I'd probably not do that trade. But I wouldn't knock it. B+, I would do the trade. A B-, I would be excited about it, but I wouldn't do the trade. So in this case, you're getting McDavid. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get McDavid, but you look into it, I'm not doing that trade.
All right, thank you for the clarification. I wanted that clarification, so thank you.
Of course, no problem.
Another comment here. Armin wants us to talk about Victor Olofsson. Just thoughts in general. Brian, you got any insights on Victor Olofsson?
Yeah, I can't believe this, but I was actually looking into Victor Olofsson. I'm like, am I doing this right now? Like, he went like what was it 5 points he got the other night? He's on the top power play. I like reactionary. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I may as well pick up Victor Olofsson while he has the a good streaming week or whatever. But then I think about it, I still wouldn't. I think Colorado's power play, there's a couple of guys that are interchangeable there. And that was his career year. And I think I'd want to see more from Olofsson and deployments stay on the top power play, top power play. Wow, tongue twister for a little while first before I make a move. But if you were to pick him up as a streaming option while he's hot, like I wouldn't knock it, but that's not something I would do.
Interesting. Yeah, like I mean, a 5-point game, a hat trick with 2 assists, 4 of those points on the power play. Like I do think that is what's going to happen with Olofsson if he stays on the top power play. He's going to have these crazy games, and then he's going to have terrible weeks where he gets absolutely nothing for you when Colorado power play is only getting a goal or two, and maybe he's not factoring in on it. I do think he does have like a pretty solid safe role in that top unit. They were when Val Nichushkin got moved up, they moved off Brock Nelson, and before that, Victor Olofsson was still there. He's been there all season. Lehkonen has been moved on and off, but Olofsson's been there throughout. I think he has a pretty unique role compared to what Lehkonen can do, compared to what Brock Nelson can do. So I do like Olofsson. I think he'll be very streaky and boom or bust. But yeah, that boom will be very interesting.
Yeah. Also, side note, what's with all these 5-point nights? You got Olofsson 5-point night. You had Bedard. You have Celebrini. Like, who's it going to be next week? Stay tuned. And we'll find out.
Yeah, I didn't think we would be talking about Victor Olofsson with Celebrini and Bedard, but here we are.
Yeah, right.
All right, moving along to trade number 3. We are giving away Seth Jones and Dylan Holloway. And we're getting Dylan Genther and Jackson Lacombe. This is a 14-team league, so a little bit deeper. It's a Cats league with goals, assists, points, power play points, shots on goal, hits, and blocks. So a banger Cats league with no PIMs. Giving away Seth Jones and Dylan Holloway. Dylan Holloway provides plenty of hits and shots. Seth Jones really not blocking much on Florida like he used to on Chicago because Florida tends to have the puck more, but is on that top power play unit and should be all season. And we're receiving Dylan Genther and Jackson Lacombe. Who did I put up first here? I have Brian. You're up first.
Yeah, this one I'm giving it a one boom, boom. Yeah, I actually really like this trade. I think if you look at both sets of players comparably, Seth Jones, Jackson Lacombe, I actually prefer Jackson Lacombe. And then you look at Gunther and Holloway, I like Gunther way more. So in the simplest terms, like I would take that trade all day. Lacombe's on like micro stats. I think I should make that. What did I say? What did we make the correction to before? Was it?
I would say you wanted to say underlying metrics, right?
That's what I want to say. Yeah. Underlying metrics, they look really good. I don't think Florida is really clicking right now. And then Dylan Gunther, he is such a talent. He's going to score some goals. Goals are the hardest to come by. And he's going to outscore Dylan Holloway. So honestly, it's pretty straightforward for me. I'd smash that trade.
Yeah, can't argue with that, and I totally agree. I'm handing out an A+ here. A+ is all around. Yeah, I think for me, like this is just a slam dunk. Maybe a little unfair. Seth Jones for Lacombe. I think that's similar value, to be honest. Seth Jones, periffs have dropped off a cliff, and Lacombe is very comparable with ice time, power play time, and probably more blocks, to be honest, all season than Seth Jones. So I might even like Jackson Lacombe better than Seth Jones. And then Genther is just ways ahead of Dylan Holloway right now with the ice time he's getting and the role he's getting. And he's just a shooter. He's going to score tons of goals and really taking a step with Utah this year. A+ for me. Not too much to expand on there.
Oh, actually, I'm going to add one more thing. Dylan Holloway, he hits a lot, yes. But again, we can find hits on the waiver wire if needed. Points are premium. So I just wanted to add that there.
Yeah. 14-team league, you might not find like, Jeremy Lazon will probably be rostered, even like Liam Bichelle. Mm-hmm. Sherwood's definitely rostered, but there are these guys who pop up and just start hitting out of nowhere. So
how many people have Trennan on their team? He might be available. He bangs a lot. Pick him up.
Honestly, in this league, I would bet that Trennan is in a 14-team Banger Cats league. I think Jakub Trennan is rostered now because he's what is he leading the league in hits? I think he is.
I didn't know that. Is he? Okay, then maybe bad example, but
I gotta hold on here. We gotta check if Jakub Trennan is leading the league in hits. Because Kiefer Sherwood, he's been hitting still, but oh yeah, Kiefer Sherwood is at 50. Guess who is at 51? Jakub Trennan, that's for sure. He's rostered in 2% of leagues, but I would say that all those leagues are Banger Cats leagues like this one. In a 14-team league, I think he might be rostered.
All right, touche.
Yeah. All right, moving along here. Brian, you want to take us through trade number 4?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is also a 12-team league here. It's a make sure I have the right one. Yeah, it's a head-to-head Cats that runs with defense, forward, and goalie. So no specific positions, no left wing, center. So it's forwards, defense, goalies. The categories here are goals, assists, power play points, shots on goals, hits, and blocks. In this trade, you're going to be giving away Tage Thompson, and you're going to be receiving Artemi Panarin. So giving away Tage Thompson, receiving Artemi Panarin. Again, no position eligibility kind of thing, right? Both 2 forwards, 1 forward for another forward.
All right. This was submitted by S. Wood. Thank you for that. And we have Ryan's ruling. I give this an A-. Pretty easy to analyze here, just a 1-for-1. We have Tage Thompson, who's running pretty well here. I think if you drafted him, you're pretty happy so far. And you're receiving Artemi Panarin, who someone in the comments earlier was saying, they're going to ditch Panarin and they think that the Rangers are a bottom feeder. Well, I disagree. I think the Rangers will turn it around, and Artemi Panarin will as well. He's still shooting tons, so his shot attempts are up there. I think Tage will definitely have more shots on goal. Neither of these players really factor into the hits and blocks. So you're really focusing on power play points, shots on goal, goals and assists. And when it's all said and done, I think Panarin will finish the season ahead of Tage in power play points, in goals, and maybe not goals, but in assists for sure. And yeah, I just think that I'd rather Panarin at this moment. I think it's a good buy low. So I'm smashing this.
I like it. Well, I think we came to the first trade that we kind of disagreed on here. So I'll give you my reasoning here. I personally wouldn't make this trade. It's close though. So I give it a B-. One thing I also wanted to mention, S. Wood also did mention that he is looking ahead to playoffs, and he is fading hits. So we know hits don't come into play here into this consideration. The way I'm looking at it is I think Tage Thompson, first of all, is going to score more goals. I think he's been more consistent to start the year. They're similar in points as it stands here, but that is kind of an outlier because you look at Panarin, he has one game where he had 4 points, and then he has a couple games with 0-0-0s. We know the Rangers offense has been struggling, and yes, that's going to change. But I actually, like, going on a crazy limb here, I actually think Buffalo is going to finish with a better power play than the Rangers. And because of that, I'm going to assume Tage Thompson is going to end the year with more power play points. So I'm going to lean on keeping Tage. Reason being, he's going to get more goals. He's going to get less assists, but I think he's going to get more power play points or in around the same, more shots on goals. And then the hits and blocks we've already established, we're kind of punting those. But if you had to pick between the two of them in those two categories, hits and blocks, Tage is going to give you more. So I'd be holding on to Tage.
All right. You heard it here first, everyone. Tage Thompson will get more power play points than Artemi Panarin to finish the season. Right now, it looks like, Tage has 3, Panarin has 2. And yeah, so once the end of the season comes, feel free to come back to Trade Talks and congratulate Brian for his bold take, which is really bold. And if it's true, like, yeah, good on you. I would lean Panarin, but I hear you.
We'll see. It might be a hot take. I mean, it is a hot take. It's a very hot take, but I just like the way Tage is playing more than I like Panarin.
Yeah. All right. Just before we get into the next trade, just a couple more comments here. We did talk about Seth Jones, Perif's main concern. Yeah, he's hitting and blocking less this year. Even last year when he was on Florida, he was hitting and blocking less. So I don't think those will come back here. So don't expect them to. He'll be power play 1 guy. So that's great. I think you can still count on the points. Just Perifs are down. Brian and Ryan. By the way, this is the Brian and Ryan show. If you have a cool name for the Brian and Ryan show, next time Evan builds his haunted house, please let us know and we'll have to take you up on it. But please revisit your Zane Parekh take. He's not even listed on Daily Faceoff. Interesting. Someone in chat mentioned he was a scratch. Please advise. Calgary played last night. They're not playing tonight. Tonight is Wednesday, October 29. They played on Tuesday. Zane Parekh definitely played, and he was on the top power play unit for the first 3 power plays, and then they strutted out Rasmus Anderson on that last power play opportunity, I believe. Please comment if I'm wrong, but that's just I did check on that before the show. So I don't think he was a scratch. Daily Faceoff isn't always fully reliable. I would go gamedaytweets.com to really get it from all those beat reporters to see what's happening. Yeah,
I second that.
All right, moving along to trade number 5. Brian, you want to take us through this one as well?
Yeah, let's do it. So this trade is a 14-team points league. So in this instance, we got goals are weighted as 5, assists 3.5, shots are 0.4, hits 0.2, blocks 0.4, penalty minutes 0.5, And defensive points, is that, I actually have never come across, is that defensive points? I've never come across that. 0.75.
Yeah. It seems like you get a boost, a 0.75 boost if your point came from a defenseman.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so a defense point. And then this was also submitted by George Lopez fan 429. So a big fan of George Lopez submitted this. In this instance, you'll be giving away Seth Jarvis and Zeev Bouillon, and you're going to be receiving Brady Tkachuk and Brandon Hagel. So Seth Jarvis, Zeev Bouillon for Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, and Brandon Hagel. Yeah, and I'm giving this a boom, boom, boom. A plus. I think this is a great trade to make. Personally, I think this might be my first A plus of the year, but I'm really happy with this one. Reason being here, I think we can take a look at both players. Actually, if you could backtrack there, Ryan, for a second.
Yes, sir. There you go.
Yeah. So just want to kind of talk through each of these. Seth Jarvis has started the year really well. Zeev Bouillon started the year really well, but has really cooled off, I would say. Not on that top power play anymore. And when he's not on that top power play, he's not doing too much peripherally. Whereas if you look at someone like Brady Tkachuk, when he's healthy, he hits more than anyone. He shoots the lights out. So you're going to get a lot of shots. You're going to get a lot of points from shots. Yeah, that's right. You're going to get a lot of points from shots. You're going to get a lot of points from hits. He's going to score some goals. He's going to get some assists. So we know typically what the range is he's going to get. And then Brandon Hagel, I don't think he's hit his stride yet either. He's had a very slow start to start the year, but Hagel is a very talented player. Sometimes Tampa might try him with Kucherov. When that happens, he'll put up a couple points there. So I think the ceiling is higher on Brandon Hagel than it is on Bouillon or Jarvis. So I'm taking that trade all day.
Yeah, that's a big boom, and I'm right there with you, Brian. I'm giving this an A plus as well, handing them out. I really just, yeah, I think this is a slam dunk, and it seems to be. I George Lopez fan 429. I really hope this is a real a trade that went through for you, and not just like an offer. Because if this is just an offer, I think it's going to get rejected. So congrats if it went through. I think Brady Tkachuk in this league is just top 10, maybe even top 5 with all these points for peripherals and goals and penalty minutes. And Brandon Hagel, really a buy low candidate. I think this is a situation where if it went through, the player has Brady Tkachuk. Maybe there's lack of IR spots, and he has Brandon Hagel, and he's losing, and he's like, I need help now. So give me Seth Jarvis and Zeev Bouillon to maybe give us some help now. So that's the only way this trade is going through. And yeah, A plus for me.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Alrighty, trade number 6. We have a dynasty league, which will be interesting to talk about. So dynasty leagues, they're a special kind of keeper league where there's no keeper rules. The keeper rule is you keep your entire team, and the draft every year is just for the rookie class. So very interesting, deep, interesting league to be in because, it's your team. It's a dynasty. You're creating a dynasty. So it's only a 12-team dynasty league with 2 centers, 2 left wings, 2 right wings, 4 D, 2 goalies, 8 bench, and then 8 minor spots, and then some IR plus. It is a points league, but yeah, we're really just, this is a buy versus sell scenario. So it looks like you're giving away Ivan Demidov and Martone and a 2028 first, and you're receiving Jack Hughes. So looks like you're in win now mode, and you're really hoping Jack Hughes can help. And you're trading away some really great prospects and a first round pick to a guy who might not be in win now mode. So I think this is a good trade to do. And I think this is an amazing trade to do if you are in the win now mode. I gave it an A plus. I'm handing out A pluses here. I'm not the easiest grader, but some of these trades I love. So Jack Hughes for me, like, he's still young. He's what is he, 25 or is he 26? I should look that up before saying it, but I think he's 25 or 26, which is not he's not an aging asset. And in dynasty leagues, you're going to have him as a top 10 player if he doesn't get injured for a good 10 years, I think. So yeah, this really is not even just a win now mode. In 5 years from now, you look at Jack Hughes versus Demidov, maybe they're similar, but Jack Hughes is still going to be in the tops there, and he's going to give you tons of great years ahead. So for me, I just in dynasty leagues, I'm always win now. I always try to be win now. So I love this trade. Give me Jack Hughes. I'll trade away great prospects. That'll be amazing in 3 or 4 years for some success now.
I like it. Yeah, so I'm actually a lot more leaning towards the way you're looking at this, but the reason I gave it a B, so one boom, one B for boom, is I think first of all, we can assume that you're in a win now mode, but it wasn't clear. So if you are in a win now mode, yeah, you're going to make that trade. If you are just looking to say, hey, I just want this better player on my team, should I give up the farm here? That changes my mind a little bit. I think we can assume that you're in a win now mode, so you're going to be making that trade. But I think we just love it a little bit, tiny more information there, which actually brings me to another point. Like, we love these trades, keep flying them in, but we need to make sure we have all of the information available. We did have one trade sent to us. You know, it had some. We had the points, the category, or the points, how it all breaking out in the league. And we also had an idea of like, hey, who you're looking for. But what we did get wasn't a picture of your whole team. So we didn't know who we should be trying to suggest you can be trading. So please make sure you're sending us all the information that we can give you the absolute best take. So for me, I am leaning towards this as doing this trade if it is in fact a win now mode. Long-winded way of answering that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, even if you're not in win now mode, this would be the first step to winning now. That's for sure.
That is true.
And Kevin Z, he says, thanks guys. Game day tweets posted Parekh was listed as an extra at practice today. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I just didn't see that today. So I guess he was an extra at practice, not in the game last night, but yeah, maybe he'll be a scratch next game. That would be a interesting decision. Armin says Parekh and Coronado scratched at practice. So both of them scratched at practice. Extras at practice and potentially scratched next game. That would be terrible if you're owning them. And yeah, they're really talented. I like those guys. So I hope they're not scratched. All right, we got to get to trade number 7, our last trade here. It's a 12-team Cats league with goals, assists, power play points, shots on goal, hits, and the dreaded plus minus. This is submitted by Maritimer, so thanks for submitting it. We are giving away Dylan Genther and Jake Sanderson and Akira Schmid, and we are receiving Sidney Crosby, Vince Dunn, and Philip Gustafson. All right, so we have Brian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boom. I'm giving this a boom here, and I really, really tried to think through this trade. At first, I was a little on the fence, but the more I'm looking at it, the more I really do like it. So one thing I also wanted to mention is Maritimer's other goalies he has are Binnington and Joey Decord. So in most cases, for me, I think 2 goalies is more than enough. But if you're looking for a third, this is definitely an upgrade at your goalie position. You're also going to be getting, I think, a better player in Crosby. Everything runs through Crosby, which we know Pittsburgh, they're going to have some falls at some point, but hasn't happened yet. You are going to lose Sanderson, which obviously is very valuable since he does do a lot for your team. But a lot of his value is also in power play points and blocks, and I don't see blocks on here. So for that reason, I'm also just going to be leaning to the Crosby, Dunn, and Gustafson because I feel like you're getting an upgrade in a couple different positions.
Yeah. All right. Well, I slightly disagree. I give this a B. I would still do this trade. It would be hard for me to say yes, but I think it would be the smart move to say yes, giving away Genther Sanderson and Akira Schmid, getting Crosby, Dunn, Gustafson. The reason I don't like this as much as you is a big piece that you're receiving is Philip Gustafson, the goalie, as a goalie upgrade, which, apples and Ginos, we're 0G is like, what? We're not trading for goalies. What are we doing? But this is a Cats league. We weren't given the actual goalie categories, but I would I would assume it's pretty standard if you're including plus minus in your league. You might just choose the standard goalie cats. So probably wins, save percentage, goals against average, and shutouts. And for those types of leagues, you really do want a good goalie who is going to get consistent starts. And I think Philip Gustafson can be that guy. So this is the Cats leagues. The standard Cats leagues are the only leagues I would be, looking to trade for a goalie. And I don't think this is much of a downgrade in the forward and defense positions. Again, you said there's no blocks, so Sanderson loses a bit of value there. You are getting a worse defender, and the forwards are actually pretty comparable in this league with plus minus there. So again, I would do this trade. I don't love it. You're going to upgrade your goalie situation, getting Philip Gustafson. He has the potential to really be a top 5 goalie. And if Minnesota can, figure things out and play strong defensively in front of him, he can be that guy. So yeah, I would do this. I don't love it because we go 0G here. And I'm really surprised, Brian, that you gave it an A because you love 0G. Defend your take
true.
here.
It is true. Put me on the stand here. I know, because goalies, especially, we've talked about this extensively. The position is so volatile. Like, there is every single year, there's guys you expect to be top 10 in goalies, and they drop to the bottom of the league every single year, no matter what. But in this case, I just feel comfortable with that trade. I've already said I wouldn't pick up another goalie. Even if it's replaced, I wouldn't roster 3 goalies. But if that is the route you want to go, then that is the trade I would make.
Yeah. In those standard Cats leagues, I might roster 3 goalies especially. So he said he has Binnington and Dackord.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't love just having those 2 goalies in a standard Cats league. It would be fine in a points league.
Yeah, but exactly.
Yeah. Alrighty. We're bringing you to a new segment here called Would You Rather. Been done in the past, and that was a Ginos, but we're going to bring it on to Trade Talks just for a fun little Would You Rather 1-for-1 trade. We have Martin Necas versus Philip Forsberg. So Necas is really vibing well with Nathan MacKinnon. He's got 7 goals and 6 assists in 11 games played with 22 shots on goal, 4 power play points, 12 hits, and 3 blocks. Philip Forsberg, not as impressive so far to start the season. He was drafted higher than Necas. In APL leagues, Philip Forsberg was definitely a 2nd-round pick, where Martin Necas was a 3rd-round pick. So Forsberg has 4 goals, 4 assists in 11 games played, only 2 power play points, 33 shots on goal, though, so more shots on goal, 27 hits, more hits, and 4 blocks. Brian, who would you rather?
Man, this is tough. But you know what? Looking at this, I think I would rather Martin Necas, but I'm going to try to defend Philip Forsberg here. So I love Philip Forsberg, and I will die on the hill for him. Philip Forsberg, I think by the end of the season, could return more value. In the shots, he's going to definitely outshoot Martin Necas. He's going to get more hits, probably end the year with more blocks. I mean, blocks are not his bread and butter, but hits and shots definitely are. Right now, I know Nashville is really having a difficult time scoring. So Martin Necas is going to give you probably more goals, more assists, more points. Like, I would like to see Philip Forsberg's goals go up. As I'm talking through this, I'm talking myself out of Philip Forsberg. So I have to try to central myself here. But just looking at for the season, the expected goals for Martin Necas ranks a little bit better than Philip Forsberg. Scoring chances are a lot better for Martin Necas than they are for Forsberg. So I guess it really depends what you value. Forsberg's going to return some points for you. I think he's more valuable in a categories leagues, but if it's a points league, I'd probably lean Martin Necas.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, thinking about even APL point settings, I think preseason I would have drafted Philip Forsberg before Martin Necas. I was very high on Necas, but I was very high on Philip Forsberg as well. All of these peripheral, the shots and hits, they do come into play. They provide a bonus in those points leagues. But yeah, Philip Forsberg, for me, he's just he doesn't have the upside on Nashville right now. I think Nashville needs to turn things around, and I don't know if they will this year. And Martin Necas has found himself in quite the situation alongside Nathan McKinnon. So yeah, in this scenario, I'm on Martin Necas. Sounds like you're on Martin Necas too.
Yeah, reluctantly, I have to say it. And not to mention being on Colorado, he's going to get more ice time too. He's got the exposure to McKinnon. Who does Phil Forsberg have exposure to? Ryan O'Reilly? Like, come on.
Yeah. Just looking at Forsberg's ice time on Nashville. Yeah, like he's averaging just 19 minutes a night. Necas will cruise past that on Colorado. Forsberg got 1837 last year, 1854 the year before. So yeah, even though he's probably Nashville's only true superstar at the moment, and they probably should play him a lot more, he's not getting that treatment. So yeah, interesting. We're all on Necas, and unfortunately for me, so is Blake. So this is a trade that I was trying to just see if Blake would accept in tier 1 of the APL. I drafted Philip Forsberg in the second round in this tier, and Blake drafted Necas in the third round. And I was like, hey, Necas is running hot. He is shooting like a little high, and things are going a little too well for that line on Colorado. Maybe things will come back down to earth, and maybe Blake will see that and hope that if he accepts this trade. But Blake rejected it immediately. He said, hey, I'm going to keep Necas. Thanks for the offer.
Hey, at least he's nice about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting one where two players that I think are pretty similarly ranked right now in the season.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right.
I think that trade would go through in a lot of leagues, by the way. Like definitely. So
yeah,
it's a pretty good trade.
Especially like like non fantasy hockey podcasters who just lucked into Martin Necas this year, and then they're like, oh, this guy's way too hot, I need to get rid of him. Philip Forsberg, yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
All righty. We have another comment here. What's your thoughts on Spencer Knight or Jacob Dobes in dynasty points? In dynasty leagues for goalies, goalies are still voodoo for me in dynasty leagues. I think if they're both great prospects, Spencer Knight is the guy for me. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, Spencer Knight for me. There's no one else really in Chicago, and Spencer Knight for me.
Yeah. All right, one more here. Someone wants to trade my Quinn Hughes and Matt Boldy for their Mitch Marner and Thomas Harley. Thoughts? Brian, thoughts?
No, I'm not doing that. I'll keep Quinn Hughes and Matt Boldy. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for the offer, bud. Be nice about it like Blake was. Say, I'll keep Quinn Hughes and Matt Boldy. Thanks for the offer, bud. Yeah. All righty. We're at an hour 17 here. So if you're not in the Discord community, get in there because it's the best fantasy hockey Discord on the planet at the moment, I believe. There was actually an article written by the New York Times that said that the Apples and Ginos Discord is the best fantasy hockey Discord on the planet. I forget where I saw that. Maybe fake news, might be not. Who knows? But get your biscuits in there, and we want to know about your trades. So please submit those in the Discord. Get on the Patreon and rate, subscribe, comment, get on all these videos and like them. It really helps the podcast. But yeah, that's all we got for this episode. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get a little bit better at fantasy hockey today. Many thanks to Matt Creamer there for supplying the music for the podcast. Thanks for listening. Now go crush your fantasy leagues.